Hi, see you again in marketing research discussion. Right now, I want to share with you with the third topic called research design. And welcome back to all of you and join us along a few minutes. We will talk about research design. How do you get the information and what kind of error that you might trigger during the process of gathering information from your respondent. Okay, so shall we start? This is for marketing research course. So the third topic. Okay, the third topic right now, talk about research design. Okay. All right. Okay, this is our outline. Our outline talk first. What is research design is all about? The definition. How many design do we have when we want to draft a marketing research proposal? Okay. And then we go one by one into that design, the exploratory research, descriptive research, causal research, relationship between exploratory, descriptive, and causal, potential source of error, and budgeting and scheduling. Okay, the last part, the number 10 is the essential part when doing a marketing research proposal. Marketing research, you need a proposal. Okay, so to develop a proposal, you should have an idea. First of all, we already talked about problem definition and the approach, and the third one is the design. Okay, because without design, you going nowhere. You have no idea where this research want to go. Okay, all right. First of all, when talking about research design, okay, we need to know what is a research design. Okay, it sounds like a plan, blueprint. It's a roadmap where it will guide the overall research process. Okay, it will show you how your research should be. Okay, how data collection will be conducted. Okay, so it's according to design of your research itself. Okay, it also details the procedure necessary in obtaining the information, the structure, the flows, and eventually will solve your research problem. In this context, we talk about the marketing research problem. Okay. Okay, this is a component of research design. Okay, when talking about the problem, the approach. So right now, we talk about what kind of information you want to be in your report, in your analysis. Lastly, presenting into in a proper manner in your report. Okay, so you can choose either exploratory, descriptive, or causal phases of the research. Then you specify the measurement. in collecting certain data, require you to specify the instrument, the appropriate instrument should be used to obtain accurate data. Then construct and pre-test a questionnaire or an appropriate form for data collection. Okay. Specify the sampling process and how large your sample size should be. Last, develop a plan of data analysis. After that, you go for interpretation, explaining all the findings and so forth until you conclude your research. Right. Okay. Let's come to see this. Classification of marketing research design. We have two major design. Okay, it might be differ compared to normal social science research. Okay, when talking about marketing research design, we have two here. First, exploratory, reflect to the name itself, exploratory, and second one is conclusive research design. Okay, conclusive research design. What kind of research under this conclusive research design? First, we have only standalone, called as exploratory. Purposely based on name, we try to find something new, something we are not yet touch, not yet explore, not yet discover. Okay, the first one. Second one is conclusive. What kind of research that we classify as conclusive research design? First, descriptive research. Another one is causal research. Okay, descriptive research means you try to elaborate, try to test, you try to determine based on the model, the theory that already described, already tested. But you want to use it on your part, on your situation, on your samples. Okay, another one is the causal research, talking about finding the cause of event, which factor contribute to event that you want to solve, you want to know. Okay, in descriptive, we have two parts also. First, cross-sectional design, mean by looking at the first cut of your problem, or we call it another one longitudinal, mean you provide time, you assess two different time for the same sample. Okay, on the same sample, you want to test in first situation and second situation, is there any differences between these two findings? Okay, and in cross-sectional design, briefly can be divided into two, either single cross-sectional or multiple cross-sectional. Okay, we will go one by one. All right. Okay, first of all, go to differences between exploratory and conclusive. Okay, exploratory, the objective of this research design provide you first information, the insight about your issue, your problem, and provide you understanding on the issue you want to study. However, for conclusive, this kind of research design to test specific hypotheses and examine the relationship. Okay, the variable is there, the event situation you want to look to is there, but you want to know how about the relationship between this variable and this situation, or we call it as dependent variable you want to test. For exploratory, any information that you gather only defined generally, okay, and it's flexible, unstructured, sample is small and non-representative. Okay, it's quite broadened, quite general. Okay, and also the analysis is more characterized or more towards qualitative analysis. Okay, the finding for exploratory more tentative because you're not fixed. You just get the insight of information. You are not conformant to the issue, to the main issue, but you want to study. You want to get some information, get understanding on the parts of the main issue you want to look. And the outcome from the exploratory, the finding will be used as a base or as a foundation for conclusive research. That's why exploratory more you call it as a standalone kind of research design compared to the conclusive, because conclusive is about testing. It's about getting know in depth, giving you more precise information, more towards solving the problem. Okay, so in conclusive, the information, the characteristic of this research design, the information is clearly defined. You have the structured and formal research process. Sample and is also large, and this sample for sure compared to the exploratory. Okay, in conclusive, you have already described, precisely selected the sample, and most of the data collected and the analysis process done quantitatively. Okay, first is tentative in terms of finding, sure, inconclusive, concluding, giving you the answer, how it should be done and what kind of action should be taken. Okay, findings used as input into decision making. Okay, so in conclusive, whatever you have got in there, you will use as a base to decide or to instruct, to direct any action, because it has very strong foundation. It has a basis to use. Okay, right. Let's compare between three, because we have already know first exploratory, we have the descriptive, another one we have causal. Okay, causal, right? For exploratory, to discover the ideas, get the insight. For descriptive, you want to describe the market because you had the foundation, the idea already there, but you want to test into different market, different situation, different kind of sample. In causal, to determine cause and effect of that relationship between this variable and another variable. Okay, characteristic of exploratory, more flexible, more versatile. For descriptive, it's marked by the prior formulation. It has already structured design. And however, for causal, it's looking to one-to-one variable. Okay. Often, the front end of total research design for exploratory, giving you more spaces to discuss, more argument can come up when doing exploratory. However, for descriptive, it's already structured. You need to follow, quantitatively analyze. Okay, but for causal, measure the effect on dependent variable. Control of other mediating variable mean it will look one-to-one effect, one-to-one one variable to another variable effect. Okay, so what kind of method can be used for these three kind of research design? First, for exploratory, you can have expert survey, pilot survey, case studies. You analyze data from the company whatsoever, secondary data, and qualitative research. However, for descriptive secondary data, you can do quantitative analysis, the surveys, panel, and observations. In terms of causal, you can use experiment because you want to test one-to-one. You need to do experiment. Okay, you want to precisely analyze one variable and its effect on another variable. Okay, use of exploratory research. Okay, in exploratory research, you can formulate a problem, define a problem more precisely for what later on you use in descriptive research. Identify alternative course of action, develop hypotheses, isolate key variable and relationship for further examination, gain insight for developing an approach to the problem, establishing the priorities. Okay, this is what happened in exploratory research because you want to get insight, just something to visualize, to call it as to give you some ideas. All right, this is purpose of exploratory. Okay, we'll talk one by one in terms of method in exploratory research, survey of expert, pilot, secondary data in terms of quantitative and qualitative research. Okay, this is what we're going through later from chapter 2 to chapter 5. Okay, purpose of you using descriptive research. Okay, since you get the idea, you have the basis to talk about your problem, your idea on actual research. Right now, you are doing descriptive research, mean you go to understand every single situation. First of all, use of descriptive research to describe the characteristic of relevant groups such as consumer, the salespeople, organization, or market areas to estimate the percentage of unit in a specified population exhibiting a certain behavior. Okay. First two lines, first 2 points already mentioned to us. The research should have concrete idea. But now, what happened? You want to know this situation lead to where? Third, to determine the perception of product characteristic, to determine the degree of to which marketing variables are associated, and to make specific prediction. Okay, since you have identified the characteristic, you have specified the behavior, the element during the exploratory research, you want to test either or which of these characteristics have major impact. Which categories of consumer giving you significant effect to the problem. This is what you have. You should something that must be done in descriptive research. Okay. All right. The method. Once again, talk about quantitative data analysis, either secondary or primary. Okay. Surveys, panels, and also observational. Okay. Let's talk about cross-sectional design. Where this design fall in? Cross-sectional under descriptive research. Okay, descriptive research. I can see here. Okay, cross-sectional design have another pair called longitudinal design. Okay, cross-sectional design, we have two types of cross-sectional. First, single cross-sectional. Another one, multiple cross-sectional. Cross-sectional, in more easiest word, we try to imagine cutting a cake, and you will see if the problem, after you cut, you can find a problem on the what you have cut. Mean you can get the views, get the finding once you cut that part, and you know either is there any problem or not. Okay, that's why it said here, one sample of respondent and information is obtained from this sample only once. I mean one time. However, if you get the information from two or more samples of respondent, but you get the information same only once, but for different sample. That's why we call it as a multiple cross-sectional design. Okay. However, how about the cohort analysis? Okay, it's a series conducted at appropriate time interval where the cohort serves as the basis unit of analysis. A cohort is a group or respondent who experience the same event within the same time interval. Okay, as an example provided to you just in front of you. This is a sample of cohort design. Okay, cohort analysis. Okay, have the time, right? All right. This is just the view or the idea how cohort analysis done. Okay, let's move. Longitudinal design is opposite to cross-sectional. Okay, as we remember that cross-sectional have two single cross-sectional and multiple cross-sectional, and paired to cross-sectional design is longitudinal design. Mean for longitudinal, a fixed sample of population element is measured repeatedly on the same variable. Okay, same sample, same variable, but different 2 times. Okay, first, the differences between these two longitudinal design using the same sample, the same variable, but taking the data from 2 different times. Okay, normally start and end. Okay, this is how to visualize what does it mean by cross-sectional. How about longitudinal? Okay, so cross-sectional sample survey at T1 only once. However, longitudinal we have two period in taking the information but using the same variable and same population. Answer the survey. Okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages between these two kind of design? Okay, cross-sectional and longitudinal. Okay, when talking about cross-sectional, we have already known the characteristic of this research design, taking the information, obtaining the information only once, mean you cannot detect change. Okay, if I didn't mention another one, mean another one is opposite way. Okay, opposite way. I mean cross-sectional only get the information once. You have no idea what happened in other time. All right. First, large amount of data collection. Why no large amount of data collection? Because you only taken once. Okay, you cannot detect change. Data not so much can represent, can give you the idea, and also the most important part, less accuracy. Okay, if you're doing cross-sectional, less accuracy. But for cross-sectional, the data obtained from the samples are more representative. Why? Because only once, only that sample will respond. And also, if some biasness happen, cross-sectional giving more, in terms of cross-sectional, longitudinal not so well, because it might have different perspective when answering two different times. Okay, so can be something that related to bias. Okay, all right, this is want to show you cross-sectional doesn't show anything related to change. Okay, but longitudinal may show substantial change. Okay, Alhamdulillah. All right. All right, another one, research done through experiment, we call it as a causal research. Okay, from the term causal, we want to determine the cause and effect. Okay, then we need to be to do experimentation. Okay. Okay. Just at glance. Okay. As you can see there, when we obtain information from others, we are not sure that information 100% accurate. We can fall into certain situation where we making an error in our data collection. Okay, what kind of error? The potential error that you may find during the research process. First, random sampling error. Okay, I want to talk a bit. What is random sampling error? Okay, It is the variation between the true mean value for the population and the true mean value for the original sample. Okay. In more details explanation, okay. For example, right here, okay, the average annual income of the target population is 75,871, but it is only $71,382 for the original sample. As determined from the male panel record, they are believed to be accurate. So we will talk later in the chapter 11 and 12 about this kind of error, right? So we do generally get information, but actually panel giving you another number. So we call it as a random sampling error. Okay, what's next? Okay, sorry. Another one is non-sampling error. Okay, non-sampling error can be attributed to sources other than sampling. Okay, not only about sampling, it can be from other things. And they may be random or non-random, including error in problem definition. During the first part, you have already done the error. At the approach, selected skills, your design of questionnaire, your method of interviews, and the preparation for data analysis. So non-sampling error consists of non-response and response error. Okay, that one regarding on the sampling. But the error can be anywhere from the start. From the start of the process, you already got the error. If you are not determining the problem very well, then you will choose wrong design, wrong sample, wrong method, even wrong questionnaire design. Or yes, you want to get the information, you need to ask, and the question should be developed according to the information that you have already read, already analyzed. Then you put as a question. If error is there, then overall research will be going to somewhere else, not to solve your main issue or main problem. Okay? All right. So error in marketing research continued arise when some of the respondents included in the sample do not respond. Okay, normally too long, very lengthy kind of a questionnaire. You don't want to answer. Sometimes question repetitively ask you get bored. Okay, so you don't want to answer. That one is non-response error. Another one arise when respondent give inaccurate answer, or the answer are misrecorded or misanalyzed. Okay, the response is there, but response is not represent to what actually you feel. The respondent answer differently to what he or she experiencing. Okay. All right, this is a case by City Corp Bank. Okay, I don't want to highlight on this. Okay, this is a component for marketing research proposal. So I aware some of you already submitted the research proposal for me to read, and I give you once again to your group to look into back to what should be in your research proposal. Then we will look in that later. So this is the element, the component, first executive summary, the background, definition, the approach, the design, research design. Okay, how do you collect your data? Okay, research design include your sample. Okay, how large your sample, the data analysis, how it should be reporting, how long that research should it would take, and also any appendices that should be together put to your proposal as a proven or as a something that assists you to explain your research proposal. Okay, quite simple in this topic, but tricky. Okay, tricky for you. But hopefully you can try to give your idea. Yeah, it's okay because we are still looking into how it should be, and we learn step by step process. It's normal for making an error. Okay, it's not a we have to go for perfection, but it's a process of learning. So anything that done and something not right is a learning process, and we can have correcting the mistake or anything else. So you may find the sample anywhere in the website. You can Google, you can take sample, but the elements should be follow as minimum as mentioned in the slide. So that's all for now. Around 40 minutes, just 40 minutes talking about the research design, and see you again in the next. We will talk about what's next. Okay, we'll talk about secondary and syndicated data in exploratory research. Thank you. See you again. Bye-bye.